everybody. Welcome to the Genre of Your Life podcast, a show all about movies, TV, and why we love entertainment, and a show where the hosts are as gorgeous as Barbie and explosive as Oppenheimer, whatever that means. I just made that up. I'm one of your hosts, Doug Jones. With me, as always, are my fantastic co-hosts and three of my closest friends. Starting with Mr. Nick Johnson. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
Me too, my friend. Down the roster next is Mr. Joel Kindlin. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Excited to be on this episode after missing the last one. So yeah.
So back from his sabbatical, his week-long sabbatical, he is back better than ever. Last but not least, he's back, everybody. Mr. Moses Lai. How are you, sir? Welcome back.
I'm good. Great. Another day, glad to be here. Let's rock it.
Yes, sir. Straight out of LA. This man is the closest thing to both strikes right now compared to all three of us. So this is a very special insider scoop whenever Moses is back on the show. So it's going to be a very, very good episode. As always, guys, you can find the show on your favorite podcast platform, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Amazon Music. And we also have a full audio show on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Midway Avenue Productions. While you're there on YouTube or Spotify, Apple Podcasts, leave a review, leave a rating, rate the show. It helps us out a lot, helps the show out tremendously. As always, guys, thank you so much for your support. And one more thing, too, we announced a few weeks ago that we were partnering with our great friends at Cross Communications for an upcoming Stray screening here in Phoenix. Those are all filled up. They had a great turnout. I think the first one was last night. So they're all booked now. So thank you guys so much for signing up. Hope you guys use our reference and our name under the Google Form sheet. Me and Nick will be at the screening August 9th in Scottsdale. So look for us then. Say hi to us. Don't be shy. Yeah, guys, as always, thank you so much for your support. So first order of business, as I mentioned too, Moses is closest thing to both the writer and actor strike right now. He's in LA. Moses, so what have you seen? I mean, I have stuff through work, but what have you seen? What have you been experiencing so far? Because last time you were on the show, it was just a writer's strike, and the actors were kind of like up in the air, blah, 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 blah. And now, I think a few weeks ago, when Joel, Nick, and I doing our Mission Impossible episode, Tom Cruise episode, it was still up in the air. It wasn't confirmed yet, but now it is confirmed. Now, not confirmed, it has been happening now for about 2 weeks. The actors have been on striking with SAG-Aftra, belongs to WGA. So what have you seen now and experienced firsthand about being in LA? What's going on? What's the word with both strikes going on?
Yeah. It's pretty crazy, out here and everything like that because, it's like, Hollywood is basically shut down. Some productions are basically happening still and everything like that. That are very, very small, very indie and everything, but it's practically shut down. There's completely less work. Like the only stuff that's happening right now are live shows, that are not scripted, and that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And it's pretty crazy. There's already some impact that's already been happening and everything like that with the strike, right? As we know, with this whole thing with, these companies and everything like that, the studios are basically starting to push their films, a little bit closer to 2024 and everything like that. They already pushed a project that Zendaya was going to star in. They pushed it to, I think, April of 2024. There's already like that kind of sort of like, that sort of like that sort of I guess like that push that the actors sort of like want and everything, and nobody though right now is especially when it comes down to the studio and also the SAG are gonna put their hands behind their back right now. The studios are like, no. We can hold you guys down and everything like that, and and you guys are gonna come back and come back with a I guess a deal that we can work with, but same goes with the actors and everything like that. They're gonna keep rolling. They're gonna keep rolling. Overall, because what's important for them is that they get what they deserve. What it is that they're asking for the bare minimum overall. Like, we know about this whole thing. You know, if you look at the percentage and everything like that, is that what they're asking for is saying, hey, we worked on this project that are on your platforms and everything. So can we please get a cut so we can at least have some, insurance, some dinner on the table and everything like that? That's what we want. And also what's key is that what they want to as well is it's like you would expect, like, yeah, no doubt, we will make sure that never happens. The studios are like, yeah, your background talent, your actors, the people that, that move around, the lead characters and everything like that. Yeah. So when they come on set, once like that, we're going to scan them. We're going to take their whole, personality, in terms of face, whatever, and we're going to use it. We're going to keep it for the rest of eternity so that we can use it for projects we want to work on. If that's animation, if that's, live action, whatever, we're going to use their faces, and anything else and everything like that for the rest of eternity. And you know how much they're going to get paid? $0. That's how much they're going to get paid. So, and that's for the rest of eternity. So that's what they're fighting for in terms of SAG and everything like that, right now. And, it's creating an impact right now. I'm thinking about, a few more weeks from now, it's going to create a bigger impact to where, Warner Brothers might even decide. They're going to decide in September, but we'll definitely see. There's already a lot of push in terms of films already for 2024, but it's pretty wild. I feel really, I feel really bad right now for me in terms of this whole thing, right? It's like like, how am I like living in terms of like, when it comes down to this whole SAG and writing happening right now, I mean, lucky for me and everything like that, I was able, literally tomorrow is my first day from, for like a gig, live event show, game show. I was able to sort of like get from a connection of mine that, brought me in, that is bringing me along and everything. And I was working on another gig, past couple of days here and everything like that. That's not part of, the union or SAG or WGA, which is, which is cool. I'm very much, with the actors and with the writers and everything like that overall, but it's really, really hard for, the regular person that was a PA on, let's say, The Witcher or whatever, to sort of like, to sort of live, I guess, when it comes down to putting food down, putting food down in their belly and everything, even a roof over their head and everything like that. It's tricky. And yeah, shout out to Dwayne Johnson, who basically donated to the SAG Foundation, over 100, not over 100, sorry, over, over seven figures, a big seven figure sort of like a donation. He was able to the SAG Foundation, which was really, really, and, one thing that SAG is saying, here's hoping for more of these A-list stars to basically donate to the SAG Foundation, because if they donate, that's gonna help them even more.
Yeah.
What happened is that is that they can have more sort of like it's like when somebody gives you a boost to last longer. That's what it's going to be. That's what it is. If these A-lists and everything like that decide to basically say, hey, here's some money, for union, SAG, team and everything like that, to keep the boat basically flowing for whenever and whenever it takes, So yeah. But right now, to be truly honest, the producers, the AT&T, I feel like I'm saying that name, are very much are very much like, nah, we don't want a deal right now. We're not gonna make a deal. We're gonna hold out, and we're gonna wait. And money is being lost every single day. And yeah, I think what we're gonna learn more is around September is where maybe get an actual decision where these unions are gonna come together and go from there. When it comes down to the writers, I'm not sure. Is that they're saying the studios are basically saying like, hey, wait until you become a broke person living in the streets, in terms of the writers. So that's what they're saying. And I don't know how long they're going to last in terms of the writers and like that. And that, it's, the court, the ball in terms of, where all these, actors and unions and everything like that, the SAG and the producers are at, and it's all over the place, so yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Again, you have more knowledge about us, you're closer to the situation because you're in LA, and I think, Nick and I talked about this last week episode briefly at the beginning, was that it's a lot of things can still happen during strikes. I feel like, and I think when I mentioned this last week that, look, Netflix cut their cheapest tier plan, which was dumb if you ask me, and also Peacock goes, yeah, we'll probably raise our prices as well, and it's like you're hurting your cause, because then look, you kind of did what you're not going to do. You raise prices, and Netflix to me, I kind of lost hope in Netflix, if you ask me, is that they literally said, you know what, a year ago, we're down money, we're down bad, this and that. We had to create a cheaper ad tier plan, and they had a huge bonus, they had a huge sign up. People did that, and then a year later, go, nah, we don't want that anymore. Get rid of it. But then you hurt people that really could only afford that plan. Yes, it was restricted to what you could watch. I think it was like standard def. Can you watch HD, which is to me kind of mind boggling. But I rest my case. It's like it wasn't a good move on that. And I'm glad you mentioned The Rock. I remember right when the actor strike started happening, it was all over the trades. Dwayne Johnson is making $50 million for one paycheck for a holiday Santa Claus movie, and I was like, uh-oh. And everyone was tagging SAG-Aftra. Really, SAG? Really? And I'm like, uh-oh. So I think I'm glad. I applaud him for put his money where his mouth was and donated money to the SAG-Aftra. But also, he kind of screwed himself when he literally made an announcement. I mean, he made an announcement, but like his team made an announcement that how much money he was making off of one movie. And it was like the most paid salary of all actors ever for a Santa Claus Amazon Prime Christmas movie. And so he had to I think he was like, shit, I just got outed by my own team. I can't sit down and be like, yeah, about my paycheck. Yeah, so about that, all that moolah. And I was like, yeah, you gotta do that. But also, I think, what's up?
No. I mean, I mean, that's 100% true and everything like that. But like we gotta look at it. It's like, he's in the number one tier of, he's not the only actor making these figures and everything like that. Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds and everything like that makes a lot too as well.
Tom Cruise.
And when you go into the office and you're talking to the producer of Netflix and everything like that, and you're Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and they want you, and and the producer wants you in that movie and everything like that, you're gonna basically say like, hey, this is how much I'm worth. If you don't want me, it's fine. I'm move on. If you do, great. Let's keep the ball rolling. And then that's the thing that I'm like, yo, it's overall, it's business. I get it and everything like that. So you do what you got to do. You basically put the price, how much you're worth. You know what I mean? And if you're during the lockdown, so you can do that, whatever, Yeah. And overall, when these situations happen, when it comes down to this, is a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and a Ryan Reynolds.
You still there?
No, I make this much, but here's some money and everything like that to keep, the the boat going and everything like that. So that's yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, definitely. That. Yeah, and I think, I mean, I wouldn't say like, oh, they won't strike, but I think a lot of them. Let me say this: I feel like if you can't, okay, if you're not willing to stand with your fellow, again, this is like any organization. I feel like writers, actors, whatever, any kind of union. If you can't literally strike with them in person, donate, find other ways to support, because you are part of this no matter what. And I think, the day I think it was Kevin Smith or someone talking about like, yeah, like, Tom Cruise can't strike because, but they make a point that like, if he were to strike, it would become a huge publicity thing, and TMZ would be there and all these kind of like weirdo fans might show up. So it's like, I'm not saying they couldn't strike. It's definitely possible. You definitely can want strike, obviously, but if you can't do that, find other ways to donate or support whatever. So I get that. No, trust me. And you got to really kind of like, if you're part of this union, you're a team. You got to like, all this. Yeah. And another thing too, I think you mentioned this really well, is that, it's first off, I'm glad you found a gig. Again, it's, pay the bills. It's game show, because it's again, that still can be done. That still can be filmed. That still can be, done during the strike, which again, it's still a part of the entertainment industry. Another thing too is that I'm seeing this more and more. I had a conversation with our friend Isaiah a few months ago when I saw him in LA back in April. Talking about my situation and what I was looking for, stuff like that. And I'm seeing, this is me personally speaking too, I don't know about you guys, but I'm seeing more and more of this almost all the time, is that these jobs that are, we're still 3 years out of college. We're still recent college graduates to a degree. And, I'm seeing more of these jobs, like these really good jobs, like really good studio job, production company jobs, like A24 jobs, like really good, A24 here and there, but like there's some really good jobs for these good companies. And you look at the salary description, and it's $40,000 a year, $45,000 a year, and some benefits. And I'm like, well, no one can live off of that, let alone anymore. Maybe if you're in rural North Dakota or some off the grid, like literally off the grid. But you can't expect someone to make $40,000 to $45,000 a year before taxes, to live in LA or New York or one of these big areas, but also with inflation and the changing of the economy and the change of the market. I'm seeing all these jobs. Before the strikes, it was that job at Sony Picture, job at this company, whatever, sure. And it was like, here's a salary base. It's like, like I had interviews with companies that are really big companies. I won't say who. Within the last year or so, here's a salary. And I'm like, I can't move there and make $50,000 a year before taxes, and then and then taxes and then insurance benefits, whatever. Too, it all adds up. So I was like, there are people that are going to work these jobs for sure, no matter what. There are people who work that jobs, but at the end of the day, it's like it's kind of like, it's a little off-putting. It's kind of like, oof, like. You expect someone to do this really good job, again, a great studio job, great production company job, a really good, you're in the business job, but you're only paying them $45,000-$50,000 before taxes. It's just like, to me, and I'm saying more of that. I think COVID for sure was a factor of that, but now I'm seeing it more than ever. Again, I think before the strikes, I'm seeing it more than ever of like these really good high company, really good in studio jobs, and here's the job salary. It's like, wow, like. It's not cutting it. And I do think it's a lot of jobs almost everywhere, but the world we live in right now, the market and, cost of living, cost of gas, cost of groceries, $40,000 maybe would have been cool 10 years ago for someone our age, for people our age. But now that's barely livable. And, if you don't, unless you have like 800 roommates in a studio apartment, or you live in a shack somewhere, or living at home, which is totally fine. It's more normalized than ever, I feel like, recently, because of COVID and been going on in the world. But to me, I'm just seeing, it's like, wow, it's just, to me, it's very off-putting. I'm like, wow, I'm seeing all these jobs that I would love to apply for, love to do this. I would relocate for these jobs. But you see the salary they're offering you, it's like, well, yeah, I can't do that. And if you try to negotiate, like, yeah, we'll give you $1,000 more. I'm like, it's not negotiating. You're just upping up $1,000 or $500 more. Where's the real jump? Is that really a real jump to be like, yeah, like, well, we have some wiggle room, $100 more. And I'm like, that's not like wiggle room, more kind of just like that's your lunch money for a few months. Like that's kind of nothing. So I I'm really curious to see what's going to happen when these strikes are over. And to your point, we don't know. You're right. That movie, The Challengers, when they got pushed back. I'm hearing Dune 2 might get pushed back. And that will break my heart because it's going to come out in November on my birthday month. That would have been great. But it is what it is. I do feel like, yeah, I mean, I think some of the other, I think the movie that Emma Stone, the guy who did The Favorite, got pushed back too. So I think, because we're at the end of the summer now. We only have Haunted Mansion comes out this weekend. Excuse me, Haunted Mansion, Ninja Turtles is next week, Gran Turismo, and then Blue Beetle. We're at the very, very tail end of the summer, and there's nothing really to promote. They can't promote anything because of the strike, but also there's nothing really to get hyped about. That's why I think Barbie and Oppenheimer will have some pretty good legs for the rest of the summer because there's really nothing coming out that's really worth ooh, I can't wait for this. And once we hit September, the first movie that comes out that month is Equalizer 3, and I have a very good feeling that they might push that back too because I think Denzel wants to and Antoine Fuqua want to promote that movie as much as they can because they are really good prominent forces of the entertainment industry. So we'll definitely see what happens, but I'm very curious to see what's going to happen post strikes whenever these end. Who knows when? 10 months from now, 10 weeks from now, who knows? And another thing too is that I'm looking forward to seeing is how is things going to change moving forward with streaming services, the cost of that for everyday consumer. What about jobs for people like us who have experience? We're getting experience. Will those go up? Will those salary raises? Will those salaries go up a bit? I hope so. But it's very curious to see what's going to happen next. But yeah, if you're striking, best of luck to you all. Stay safe, stay cool. It's very hot. I heard it's very hot. It's getting hot, wherever it is right now, but because it's summer. But wish you the best of luck. But yeah, it's going to be interesting what happens in the next few months because right now it's a lot of move and a lot of content's going to be delayed for a while, or we're gonna have nothing. We're gonna have reality TV. We're gonna have a lot more episodes of Cheaters, or stuff like that.
No, 100%. I mean, it's only gonna get more intense and everything like that. As
100%.
Time moves on and everything like that. So yeah, we'll definitely see. If there's any new information that you guys might not have, I'll make sure to always keep updating and and going from there. Because they're asking for the bare minimum. Hey, we just need insurance and food and just stay stay alive. Please don't use AI, which would make our job and would make the story you're trying to create worse.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Narc. Yeah. And another thing, I was just gonna say that too. What's gonna happen next, and you really got to hope for the best. And I think this is something that I really, I'll put up with later for Netflix, but Netflix to me really just needs to I think we've been saying this for every episode of this podcast is that streaming can't survive without theatrical. And I think it's a very thing now. We definitely trained audiences, I think, because of COVID especially, to, hey, you know what? We can wait for the next movie on VOD. We wait for the next movie on Paramount Plus or Peacock or Hulu, Netflix. And it's yeah, you can, but you're hurting yourself. And I truly feel like they cannot. They're losing money. Netflix is losing money. Disney Plus is losing money. Peacock lost $1.3 billion this year alone, which is crazy to me. You invest all this money on streaming content. Great. It's new voices for both in front of camera, behind the camera, directors, PAs, everything. It's very important. I get it. But the amount of money that people are spending on this, there are no returns. And this is what I do feel about the strike. I feel that if you can that money could go to salaries, benefits, whatever, PA wages, whatever. They're spending absurd amount of money. Again, with Netflix too, they spent $200 million on Gray Man. They spent $500 million just to buy the rights of Knives Out. That's crazy. That money could just be invested in other salaries. But go ahead.
No, I was going to say. I mean, yeah, it's crazy and everything, but Netflix, I know, they might, be losing money and everything like that or whatever, but from subscriptions, alone, they make, You know, like I mean, like I'm just you know, I'm not saying, you know, like Netflix is blah 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 or whatever. I'm just saying, like, there is there is some percentage that you can do, the writers and and SAG, because they make over $800 million, like, maybe even 900, maybe even $1 billion a month, just from the services and everything like that. So, and then in total, like yearly, it's like billion, a year or whatever. So that that's a lot. That's a lot. So, what I'm just saying is that there's a solution here. Like I 100% know there's a solution and everything. What the actors and writers are basically asking is basically a budget of one movie, like one movie a year. Like the budget of, like for SAG and everything like that. I'm pretty sure they're asking for a budget, for like almost like maybe I might have the wrong number, and excuse me if I do, and I'm so sorry. Maybe like 23 like mil or whatever, like a year or like that. I'm not sure. Please, if you know the right number, that's great. But what I'm just want to say is that they're asking for a very, lower than, what you really, assume and everything like that. So this company's growing fast. I thought music was growing really, really fast, but the world of filmmaking and entertainment growing fast and very quick. So I at least try to support the people that are
creatives.
The creatives and everything like that are bringing eyes to this this platform that yeah, I don't know.
Hope for the best. Yeah, hope for the best. And like I said, I'm really curious to see what's going to happen next and the progress that's going to be made, because right now, it's just like no one wants to talk, and it's just going to be more the waiting game. But yeah, again, if you listen to this and you're striking, best of luck to you all. Stay safe. Wish you luck. Stay strong, and again, wish you all the best. But alrighty, guys. With that being said, let's get in. So I think before we talk about our favorite horror movies and our They Clone Tyrone, which again is Netflix. Speaking of Netflix, without spoilers, I want to hear what both Joel and Moses had to say about Oppenheimer, because Joel saw it last week at a screening in 70mm, and then Moses saw it in 70mm IMAX, which again I'm happy that you saw, because I saw it in 70mm IMAX as well. And Nick, I promise I'll take you to see it at 70mm IMAX as well. It's an experience like no other, if you ask me. But yeah, guys, I want to hear what you guys think of what you guys thought about Oppenheimer and your kind of just like thoughts and quick reviews.
I'm trying. Okay. I thought it was really good. It is a very long movie, but compared to a lot of other movies, I think they paced this movie so perfectly. You know what I mean? Um, you're sitting there for a long time, yes, but like it's paced so well that it just seems seamless, and it works really well. Besides that, the movie was really astonishing visual wise and detailed wise with the characters. Every character had in a way a depth to them. An intrigue as well to just sort of, keep your interest. The film was great. The acting was phenomenal. The cinematography was beautiful, and I really did love it. I thought everything about it worked so perfectly. And what's her name? Emily Blunt, right? That's her name. Right, Doug? I'm not.
Who played his wife?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man, she was she was so good. She killed that shit. I loved her character. She just yeah, but everyone did so well. And it was good to see Matt Damon in a serious movie again. Because he's so good. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I think it's a good watch. Just prepare yourself to like sit through it because again, it is a long watch, but it's not boring whatsoever. Um, it will keep you entertained and enthralled, and and to see a lot of historical science figures and the way they play the war out through in the way they introduce it, what I mean, the way they talk about it is it it's intriguing, because you've seen so many war movies, but with this it's different. It's not a war movie. It's sort of a movie about a time during the war, I guess I could say. And so, they talk about it, but it's very different. The way they talk about it, it's not just like on the news. It's surreal to them, to the characters. So it's very interesting. I loved it. I think it was great. I give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's worth going to movies to definitely go see, especially if you can see it in IMAX.
Yeah, one thing before Moses goes real quick, I mentioned this last week on my review when Nick and I were talking about this last week, was that what I thought was really good. I friend mentioned him last week. I was so mad at myself that when the episode ended, I was like, I forgot to mention this person, Alan Ehrenreich, man, who plays Downey Jr.'s Strauss, is his not assistant, but like one of his workers, right? He played Han Solo in the Solo movie. I think he was phenomenal in this movie. I think, like, again, he's a great actor. I think people just shout on him because of Solo, and I was like, damn shame, because he's a good actor. But I really wanted to shout out Alden Ehrenreich because I think he was a fantastic addition to this movie. He had a small role during Downey Jr. scenes, but man, watching this kid act, I was like, this kid's a good actor, and people really gave him so much shit for Solo, and I'm like, it's a shame, but I'm glad he got kind of calling it for sure, kind of like a little bit of a rebound with this movie because good on him for rebounding to this movie out of all movies, but having his role, I think, was very crucial to the movie itself, but also to Downey Jr.'s performance and his scene. So I want to give a quick shout out to Alden Ehrenreich. But yeah, Moses, you saw it in 70mm IMAX, and I'm so glad you did. But what do you think of the movie and your experience overall seeing this in 70mm IMAX?
Nah, yeah. So overall, man, with this movie, seeing it, on funny, first of all, like that is I got like, I had gotten like tickets, on Regal because we have a monthly pass and everything like that for Regal, and we're like, we're gonna go see it there, and literally like a couple of months later and everything, I saw my friend basically post saying, hey, we're giving out two I'm 70mm tickets to go see Oppenheimer and everything like that. I was like, wait, it was same time too as well. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to reply to this. Literally moments later, they replied back. They were like, yeah, Moses, the tickets are yours. So we're definitely going to get it in some IMAX instead of like a regular screen and everything. See it, and man, this movie is is super explosive and everything. And this is a biopic. I mean, for me, from like my opinion, overall, this is 100% a biopic of Oppenheimer, and his, I guess, legacy when it comes down to creating, and everything. It starts from the beginning to when he was in school and everything like that, to the man that the world knew him by, which is, creating this crazy, crazy sort of like, bomb that could, essentially destroy the world and everything like that. So, it's great. The whole crowd, literally 5 minutes in, they were, I think it was like 5 minutes in or something like that, but they were already clapping because, in terms of, the anticipation and everything like that they basically all have. It was really, really great. There was one guy that was like, I worked on this movie, and we all just clapped, everything. So yeah, it was really, really cool. The three people that I think nominated is, Killian, Emily, and Robert. Those are the three nominated. I'll get nominated for the Oscars. If none of them get an award, well, then I don't know what to say. At least Christopher Nolan better get his, director Oscar and everything like that, because blew this out the park. They one thing that I kind of found that it's kind of funny and everything like that, because of the way that they promote it, but they promote it as if it's like a blockbuster movie. In some case, it is and everything like that. But overall, in my opinion, it's very much a spectacle drama and everything like that. And it's great, and it's great. Like the character that I loved, the most in this is Robert's character. Lewis
Strauss.
Is this guy's on fire and everything like that, and there's a part of me, that I was like, you know what? I do not see a Tony Stark here in this performance at all. I do not see a Tony Stark.
That's what I said. That's literally what I said. I was like, I don't feel this is an Iron Man. This is a different performance from him.
This is a completely different performance and everything, and he was great. He was really, and the some of the moments were, were like slow here and there, but the character came to the screen, everything like that. The energy was basically full again, and that's Matt Damon's character. Like right when he came in, you have those comedic timing and those comedic moments that brought the theater some laughter, and everything like that, and back to a very, very nice pace. But overall, man, seeing it on that IMAX screen at the Chinese theater and everything like that, it was crazy. And they were giving out like I was just funny. They're giving out like film rolls for the IMAX film. I was
so jealous.
Like a little film roll and everything, which is really, really cool. I have it, hanged up in my room, and yeah, man, it was as Martin, Scorsese would say it, now that's cinema. So.
I saw those memes over the weekend too, like both the Barbenheimer thing, and it was just him, cinema.
No, for real, yeah, 100%. So, I had a great time. I had a great time watching this movie, and also Barbie. I know, no Barbie spoiler or anything like that, but that was way too funny. That movie was too funny. I did not expect that. But anyways.
Yeah, Barbie. That I literally walked into the screening with my mom and Zeta last week, and I was like, we put one of the few only dudes there, and I was like, all right, here we go. But I think it was funny seeing Oppenheimer first and Barbie the second day back to back. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I didn't do the whole double feature when it would have been too much for me. I've been like, I need a break. I need to sit down and like just think about life. Because they're two very different movies, but they're both really great movies. So I'm glad that I each day I get to appreciate one for what they were. And man, those movies made so much money this weekend, which is fantastic for the box office because since last week, a few weeks ago too, was that, man, it's been a slump of a summer for box office movies. Indy flopped, Flash flopped, Transformers flopped. Mission did good, but they were saying this is going to make Top Gun money, and I was like, I don't think so. I mean, I think the movie and it came out, it did okay, but it wasn't like groundbreaking whatsoever. And so I was like, we need a win here. A win is a win. So,
because like at the box office and everything like that, like it's blowing expectation when it comes down to Barbie and Oppenheimer and everything like that. I knew kind of going in, I was like, Oppenheimer is a great film, but when you have a movie like Barbie, like you're not gonna have 16-year-old, like 16-year-old, people and everything like that going to see Oppenheimer. They're gonna go see Barbie.
Right.
A female audience that are 16 years old and everything like they're gonna go see Barbie. Majority of people that are a little bit older and everything like that are female and male are gonna go see Oppenheimer because we know we kind of know sort of like who Christopher Nolan is and the direction that he takes whenever he creates his films, and it's it's gonna hit $1 billion. Barbie's gonna hit $1 billion, and Oppenheimer, this is my guess, speculation, is gonna hit around probably. It's gonna hit like it's gonna hit 600. It's not. It's literally gonna have like a very, very cool calm wave with the next couple of weeks where people are gonna go watch it. It's not gonna be crazy, but people are always gonna go in and watch this movie.
For sure.
And 600 for Barbie $1 billion and Oppenheimer around 600. So
yeah, I was looking at getting tickets for me and Nick to go see it in IMAX for like just him not go see it on a weekday or whatever, a weekend. I'm looking, it's like sold out for the next few weeks, and I was like, holy shit. Like, it's crazy to me. Like we're sitting in the front, Nick. By the way, no, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I would never make you do that. Hell no. But it's crazy. This is like, to me, it reminds me of like really like not Avengers. For I think Avengers and Black Panther had the same thing. But like, man, it's really cool to see movies that are sold out because I feel like we live in an age now where it's like once the movie's out, it's basically the whole theater's just playing this one movie. I feel like Avengers had this. I think No Way Home had this. Avatar had this too. Where it was like they sold out this entire theater base. They had like multiple screens, so it was never sold out. But these movies are really bringing so much mass of audiences. Even people that haven't been to the movies probably in a while, even because of COVID, or they were kind of like, I'm waiting for this movie, whatever. So I really do feel like the studios should take note of this past weekend because wow, like people showed the fuck out for these movies, both Oppenheimer and both Barbie, and they both crushed expectations. Both of them did. And what Oppenheimer has going for them too is that they had the IMAX showings. As you'll know, if you're seeing IMAX or Dolby or Prime, Cine Capri, Cine XO, whatever, you're gonna see a higher price in ticket because it's a premium format. And the fact that Oppenheimer has just sold out shows the next few weeks is crazy to me because I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And then Barbie too. Barbie had this past weekend just sold out shows everywhere. They had it in Dolby as well. I think they're sharing Dolby with Oppenheimer sometimes, whatever. But again, sold out shows. So I do miss the days of like when movies came out like this on the same weekend because this sold out. We can see this movie. You have an option. I feel like last time we had that was, I want to say 2018 when we had the same week was Mary Poppins, the first Spider-Verse, Aquaman, and Bumblebee all in the same weekend. And that was crazy. I'm like, wow, we had 4 big movies in the same weekend. And I said, wow, that's, to me, I missed, because like back in the day, it was kind of like that. You saw this movie the same weekend. Yeah, great. It was huge box office. But to me, I mean, competition, it helps the box office for sure. Like I said, beginning of the episode and last week's too, is that, we have trained audiences now to like, I'll wait for it on VOD, wait for it on Disney Plus. And it's like, no, you're missing out on an experience like no other. Seeing this movie in 70mm film or 70mm IMAX, you're being in Barbie too. Barbie seeing it with a crowd enhances the experience for sure. People are laughing, people are clapping, like you said too, Mose. You hear people at Oppenheimer saying, "We're in the movie." And again, I kind of miss seeing that when we did, Avengers opening night or Black Panther opening night with you guys in college. It was like that. It enhances the experience 100%. So I'm very curious what's going to happen, moving forward. But like I said before too, we are now in the summer. and I told to Nick the other day too. We talked about this the other day. Was that Blue Beetle's tracking to like abysmal $10 million opening weekend, and that's terrible. That's terrible. Like $10 to $17 million opening weekend. It's a $120 million budget movie, and probably not on marketing because they can't market the movie because of the strike. So you have nothing coming out for the next few weeks that are really kind of big movie, except for Ninja Turtles, which I think might do modestly well. Who knows? But it's these two movies that are really going to be kind of holding their own till end of the summer with premium formats, word of mouth. Yes, Oppenheimer's a 3-hour movie, but again, it has so much you can go back and watch. Oh, I missed this part, or oh, that makes sense now, or who's that again? It's a drama, a lot of talking, but it's a spectacle of a drama that you're like, oh, I want to see that again. I want to see that part in IMAX again. I want to see the bomb dropping in IMAX again. So or Barbie too. A lot of jokes in Barbie, like, oh, that was a funny joke. I want to see that joke again. I want to hear the audience, whatever. So it's the importance of casual audiences going back for a second or third or fifth or sixth viewing, because it kind of like will help the box office, help these movies out too. And I do hope that the studios and the companies are like, oh wow, look at this. These movies work because we trusted our filmmakers, both Greta Gerwig, Chris Nolan. But look, these people showed the fuck out for these movies and made a lot of money. So could be a sign for a heads up to studios that, hey, listen, we trust our filmmakers and and again, free marketing. Like Barbenheimer was an online Twitter thing, like that really started off of Twitter and social media. That's free marketing right there. It's like
what's up? No, I was adding to what you were saying, everything like that. That Barbie was literally free marketing.
Free marketing.
And like that was literally free marketing, and there's not any other free marketing that the social media groups and everything like that are going to give out. And what you're saying about Blue Beetle too as well, which is really, really sad. I was rooting for that movie. I'm planning on going seeing it and everything like that. But at the same time, it's like, it's like only 10 to 20 million opening. That's really, really, really bad.
Bad.
The whole promotion thing is also there too as well. But I was really, really rooting for that movie and everything like that. So, but hey, we'll see. Maybe we'll have legs and word of mouth.
I hope so, man. I said this before, last few episodes as well. They, Nick knows this more than I do. He's the DC expert because of movies and stuff. The thing too is that I don't think, again, I get they had announced James Gunn's our new CEO, Peter Safran. That's awesome. But look what happened. He do that. Black Adam flopped. The Flash flopped. Shazam flopped. You had all this stuff flop. People are like, the rebooting. Why would I care? And again, they said the third round of reshoots for Aquaman 2. If I was James Wan, I'd be like, I'm going back to horror after this. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. So they had so many reshoots for Aquaman for the past 3 years, basically, and now they're going to more reshoots. And it's like no one. You literally told people we have a new DC studios coming soon. People are like, why would I care? I can watch this movie on HBO Max next month. And it's like, again, look at the Flash. The Flash came off. The Flash left theaters in a flash. No pun intended. But now also it went on VOD like super quick. Lost a lot of money. And it's like, man, you really should have shut the fuck up. Not the fuck up, but like you should have just like kept that on wraps. Or not say, here's our plan for the next few years. Again, I get Gunn had to do that. I really did. But man, you screwed Shazam, Aquaman, Blue Beetle, Black Adam, the Flash. It's just like, man, I get it. What's next is important. I get it. But live in the now, because like you said too, Moses, that like I rooting for this movie too. I still am, but I'm just hearing like it's going to be an abysmal opening weekend. $10 million opening weekend is really bad. Again, this is like we are now post COVID for sure. And if a movie opens up $10 million, best believe like that's gonna hurt a lot of people's careers. I feel like people are gonna be like, well, we tried. Well, it is what it is. But also you also released the movie during 2 strikes that people can't promote or talk about it on late night shows or podcasts or interviews where no press. So it's shitty, man. But we will see what happens. But anyway, guys, so next. So I want to talk about this episode was besides movie and reviews. I want to talk about horror because I feel like we have 2 movies coming out this weekend, horror movies that I have not seen yet. But I'm hearing good things about this A24. Talk to Me, it's really good. Her Haunted Mansion's kind of pretty good for the most part. So I was like, you know what? Let's do a horror kind of like talk in this episode. So I'm gonna go around the group, and Nick, I'll start with you first, Nick. You also good. You made a horror movie yourself, actually. Yes. What are in the past 10 years, like we've seen a really good, not resurgent, but like really good horror kind of just like box office kind of like control will like stuff like Smile and Barbarian and Screams and Halloween's really kind of like took over the box office and so like Conjuring and Insidious too. Like the box office really are showing out for horror movies with how small they are, like a Smile or a Barbarian, something huge like an It or It Part 2 or Annabelle or Conjuring. These movies are really bringing in a lot of box office. So as a horror filmmaker yourself and a horror film critic and film fan, in the past 10 years, what have been some of your 5 favorite horror movies that you can think of that like, wow, this stuck with you? Like, wow, like this is, again, Get Out, Us, Nope, like stuff that kind of just like really stuck with you. Oh, I think Skinamarink that you told me about as well. So what have you kind of been watching the past 10 years like, of like your 5 favorite horror movies?
Well, you just mentioned it. Skinamarink is definitely my number 1. There's honestly no horror movie like it, bro. Like I loved it. It was just so different from every other horror movie I'd seen. So I liked how it kind of looked like it was from an actual like human perspective, and how just grainy it looked, and how kind of basically how ambiguous it is, man. I loved it. I loved all of that. Let's see. My next one is Smile for sure, because I went into it. It looked fine, and I went into it. I thought it was gonna be kind of entertaining, but still kind of basic. But it really wasn't. They kind of took it there for me in terms of scares. Like they didn't hold back, and I'm not gonna ruin the ending, but I did really like how they did the ending, because I feel like a lot of horror movies, they tend not to like fully commit to it, and this movie I feel like definitely committed to it. They just basically went all out, and I loved it. See, number three, I'm gonna say Hereditary. That was one of the movies that kind of like turned me on to A24. It was like that and The Witch. But Hereditary I liked because it was the first horror movie I'd seen where it was like, this wasn't just a bunch of jump scares. There was like an actual story here. Like the story was just about like the family and grief and, like certain hereditary traits that might be passed down. But it was kind of like disguised as a horror movie. That's how I look at it. And because even like if you take all the horror stuff out, it's a good just family drama, So let's see. My 4th favorite, I'm gonna say, is Midsummer. It was like a daytime horror movie. I hadn't seen too many like it, and it was just terrifying. Like to me, the thought of being in a group of people and they're all kind of just doing stuff that you're not really used to like that, and it's like like they're killing people and doing all of this and all of that, but to them like it's just normal. So the concept of that is like, it's kind of fascinating to me. I'm in this situation, but I'm the only one that thinks it's a little weird, That to me is just kind of terrifying. And then for number 5, I think I'm gonna say The Witch, another A24 movie.
Robert Eggers, nice.
Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? No, The Lighthouse. I'm gonna say The Lighthouse instead of The Witch.
Good,
that was a good one. That was a really
good one.
Because that's another movie where it's like you could interpret it just so many ways, and the acting is incredible. This movie kind of helped me get into the mindset of like, maybe Robert Pattinson can play Batman, So I was it was good, man. And Willem Dafoe is he's the best. He's one of the coolest to me. But yeah, that's my list. That's my top 5 right there.
I still laugh at why'd you spill your beans?
Yeah.
It cracks me up, dude. Whenever I see that, man, it makes me laugh so much. I'm like, this movie's bizarre, but bizarre in the best way possible. Good choices, man. Yeah, I remember like I still gotta watch Hereditary. I like Midsummer. I gotta watch Hereditary. I think you told me a lot about it. I know Z likes a lot too, so I gotta watch her again. I mean, I'm still kind of scarred from Beau Was Afraid a few months ago, and the other day I brought up to Zeta, and she goes, "Don't mention that movie, please." And I was like, sorry. She still really experienced that movie. But
damn.
I can't wait for your reaction. I cannot wait for your reaction. The movie is something that I can't even describe in any good or bad terms. All right, so I know Joe, you're up. And I know Joe's not for fair warning, Joe's not the biggest horror fan, which we respect, not for everybody. But I think you can appreciate good movies, even if it's a horror movie. So if you don't have 5, give me at least 3 horror movies the past 10 years that you did enjoy.
I searched some movies, and
You did?
so
Okay.
I have a 5 list.
There we
Not
go.
in
Okay.
order. I don't
No.
know if everyone will agree with these, but that's fine. Um, let's start. This is gonna count as one, but the old and new It movies. Even though I hate clowns, it has always drawn me in, especially the old one. For some reason, it just drew me in to watch in complete total terror as I hug a pillow and hide behind it like a little bitch. Uh, um, so there's that. There's the movie. I feel like a lot of people either didn't have an interest in it or didn't really like it, but I went to go see it and I thought it was interesting. Was Ready or Not?
I'm gonna watch that.
Um, it's it's an interesting movie. It's something you would not expect. It's um for it does have its jumps, but for me, it was a good watch. I think it was just a creative movie overall. So I think it's worth the watch to like check it out. I don't expect everyone to love it, but I do think people will find it intriguing. There's that. What else? Fuck, I forgot one of mine. Give me one sec. It was sorry. There's a Bigfoot movie I wanted to recommend I saw years ago, but I can't remember what it was. Um, it. Give me one sec, because I want to keep a specific one for last. Fuck. It wasn't that one. Sorry, I'm taking so long.
No, you chilling, bro.
Today, Junior. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Today, Junior. If you know Billy Madison,
If you know, you know.
you know, right?
Yeah. Ah, fuck. I had it too. I had the whole list. And I feel like I'm missing two in my head. Um, okay, so I'm gonna just skip this one. And then I'm gonna say the OG Lost Boys, because that is considered a horror. I've been a big fan of Lost Boys for so many years. I truly do love it. And when I searched it up, it counted as horror, so I was like, "Fuck it, yeah, why not?" It does have its scare factors. Uh, it's just overall such a great movie. I love it so much. Uh, yeah, the OG one, not the newer one. The newer one's there. Um, the next one I'm going to recommend. I forgot what the one I was looking for, but I found a pretty good one. It's a really good movie. Has 81% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's either I think it's a Korean movie or is it? Yeah, I think it's a Korean movie. It's called I Saw the Devil. It's
Hmm.
really good. Have you guys seen it? Nick, have you seen
I've seen
it?
it. I've
Yeah,
seen
I
it.
saw it.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. I love it. It drew me in. Very intriguing concept. The Asian culture, their films are always creative in a different way from, us. So I do love Asian movies so much. You guys probably already know this, listeners and our viewers, because I talk about them a lot. And then this one is gonna be my number one. It's gonna be Seven with Brad Pitt and Morgan
Interesting.
Freeman.
Interesting.
That one, I don't like horror, but that one scared the living shit out of me just because of how psychologically fucked it is. Um, it's about two. two detectives teaming up to, solve a serial killer murder of that guy's trying to do who of a serial killer who's targeting people who he thinks represents the seven deadly sins. That's my number one.
Go on. What's in the box?
That's a good one. That's a good movie right there.
What's in the
Thank
box?
you.
I'm looking forward. If it's still coming out this year, maybe push back as the strike. David Fincher, who did Seven, who did movies like Social Network, Fight Club. The list goes on and on about this guy. He's making a movie called The Killer with Michael Fassbender. And I'm hearing out of like test screenings and early reviews that this movie's fucking brutal, but it's fucking awesome. I said, yes.
Sign me up.
Yes, because I feel like Fincher needs a hit. It's been a while. I mean, I love Gone Girl, but like he hasn't had a hit in I think in a minute. So I was like, you know what? Fincher, Michael Fassbender, horror, serial killer. I'm there. We're there. Day one, we're there. Sign us up. So I like that. Moses, my friend, you're up next. 5 favorite horror movies.
5 favorite horror movies. I don't know. I mean, so same as everything like that. Really like, the best on films and everything, but I can give you two, Is that cool?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You know how much you know how much I love Get Out, so that's definitely number one. I want to go see it with and so much funny reactions about that showing. And but yeah, so that's definitely number one. And number two is Get Out. No,
Oh my god.
Get out.
Yeah. Two is I would say is Prometheus.
That's a good one. Interesting. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good one.
I know it's a sci-fi, but it's definitely a sci-fi horror. Prometheus
for sure.
Is 100%. My one of my favorite like sci-fi like movies. I go back and I watch scenes, from that movie and everything like that. And man, it's great. It's great. I love that movie. And those are only two, that definitely like love overall that I go and watch, over and over again for sure. So, and if you haven't seen Prometheus, definitely go check it out. It's I don't know. It's basically a very, very, very crazy thriller, that takes you on a very suspenseful, ride and everything. And it's great. Great. Those are my two.
Should we say what it's a prequel to? Or should we let people decide for themselves? I mean, it's been 10 years, but should we keep that on the wraps?
No, I mean, you can. I mean, it's a prequel from, Aliens and everything like that, from Ridley Scott and everything. I mean, Ridley Scott also directed Prometheus too as well. So, I unfortunately, don't hate me, please. I never seen like the first Aliens, but, I saw the trailer.
Moses, you gotta see it, man. You
I'm
can't keep
judging
doing it,
filmmaker.
I'm judging you real hard right now.
I'm about to revoke your membership card, my brother. You gotta see it.
About to
man.
kick you off of this podcast.
Oh, this is too much, man. I can't handle this in my older age.
No, but nah. I mean, overall, man, Prometheus is it's a great movie. I saw the trailer like that. It's intense. It's intense, man. Those two are my favorite one. Get Out and Prometheus.
There's a rumor I heard, not rumor, but one of my favorite podcasts is a Double Toasted podcast of these guys out of Austin, and I was watching some of the old like reviews from like years ago, whatever, and they're reviewing Alien Covenant, and what I heard from them, what they kind of said as fact was that Prometheus was supposed to be its own thing, like its own movie, like not tied to anything. And this is when Fox was still Fox before Disney bought this like 10 years ago. And then Fox goes, yeah, where are we putting the alien? And Ridley Scott goes, what? He goes, yeah, alien. Where are we putting it? And goes, this is an alien movie. He goes, yeah, we're putting the alien here. We want to have bigger plans for this. So I think what I've come to understood is that it was supposed to be an alien prequel, but since Fox owned it, they go, we're making an alien prequel. But it definitely works as a movie without being an alien prequel, which is really cool because it's definitely a good sci-fi horror, very kind of good like Odyssey movie and great performances by everyone in that movie. So it's interesting to see that movie kind of how it progressed into like the world of Alien and Alien Covenant. So it's an okay movie. It's fine. It's nothing special, but it's cool to see those kind of play back to back with each other. But yeah, Get Out, man, I love Get Out so much. So for mine, I stuck with the past 10. I can go on about horror movies from like all over like past 100 years almost. But I stuck with I did the past 10 years of horror movies. So I'm gonna go with this one out of order as well. Is Barbarian. Barbarian to me was a movie that had genius marketing, but kind of just really covered by Disney because it was a Fox movie. They were releasing under Disney banner. It is what it is. But I remember seeing the teaser for this movie before another movie, a year ago. I knew nothing about it. I saw this huge poster for it on a theater, and I was like, what is that? And knew nothing about it. Saw the trailer for it, the quick teaser for it, and it was basically just her going up to the Airbnb, see Bill Skarsgård, and he goes, well, Airbnb's overbooked. You can stay with me. And it's all red flags. You're just like, no. Like, don't go in this house with this man. Like, it's Pennywise. And it's just all red flags. But the trailer literally showed nothing. And I was like, bravo, yes, this is good marketing. You're not showing anything. All it was this weird situation. And all you hear is this girl say, help me, Barbarian. And I was like, I said, from the producer of The Grudge and It, I said, I'm there. And that's all I saw. I was like, I don't want to see any more trailers. I don't want to see any more marketing. I'm sold. Saw the poster, saw the quick 30-second trailer. I said, I'm in. Me and Zeta saw it opening night, and we both loved it. We're like, this movie's awesome. It's really twists and turns. It's cool to see this guy Zach Cregger, who made this movie, had literally a budget of nothing, basically. He had his first financier passed away. They had to find someone else to finance the movie. Regency and Disney and Fox bought it. So they had a whole quick turnaround. It's a great movie. Georgina Campbell is phenomenal in that movie. If you don't know about the movie, I don't want to spoil anything for you because it's really go in blind as you can. Because the less you know, the better it is. That's how it was for me. This movie was phenomenal. It was my top 10 of last year. I love Barbarian. Number 2 for me is Overlord. Shame on you, Joel. Overlord to me is a movie that I was so hyped for. I was like, I can't wait for this. This is like J.J. Abrams at the top of his game before he kind of fell off. He was producing this movie. It was original. It's a war movie with like a twist to it. Again, the marketing didn't show too much, what I liked about it. Had a crazy kind of just like flash cut here and there, a heavy rock song playing around. You're like, it was chaos. I said, ooh, I like this. It said rated R. I said, I'm in. Overlord to me is a fantastic genre mixer of war and horror. It's basically set in World War II. These group of American soldiers are shot down. I think they're in Germany, and they're in Germany, and they're trying to like survive basically. And they're hiding in this kind of like German Nazi bunker. And there's some weird things going on that they're experimenting on people and soldiers and lab stuff. Again, it's original. The less you know, the better. But this movie is gnarly. There's some really brutal like horror stuff. You're just like, oh my god. And the CGI, the practical effects are amazing in this. It's truly a movie that came out and literally no one saw. Me and Joel saw it when he visited us a few years ago for my 21st birthday. We think like 2 p.m. afternoon. There was no one there in the theater. And I was like, yeah, you know what? This is sad. The movie came out, tanked. No one saw it. It was a great few months of like original movies that no one saw, unfortunately. And Overlord's a really good movie that came out. No one saw it, but it is awesome because it's a great combo of horror and war. Great performances. It was all of them were mostly unknown actors, which I dug about it. See Overlord, it's phenomenal. Original as hell, but just a great movie, great war, great horror movie. 3 for me is Get Out. You too, Moses. I remember seeing this the opening weekend, man. Like, it was a packed house. We were hearing good things about it. It was like opening weekend, had like 100% Rotten Tomatoes. Like, it's Jordan Peele that we all love. Like his first movie he had to make as a filmmaker. what's going to happen. We knew nothing about the twist or whatever. I remember being in that theater with you, Moses. We were kind of like, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? We were kind of on the edge of our seat, like, what's going to happen next? And we were so like giddy and anxious, like, what's going to happen? Like, oh my God, this is going to be crazy. But man, this movie really is like something really special. It was his kind of like first time he was doing comedy, but it wasn't full on comedy. It wasn't Key and Peele. He's doing horror. He's doing thriller. He's doing social commentary. And he made Kahlua a star. I feel like he became a star because like that his whole performance is phenomenal. Little Rel is hilarious in it. Bradley Whitford's in it. Everyone in that movie is Catherine Kinnear's in the movie. Like Keith Sanders was great in that movie. A movie literally for a $3.5 million budget movie. It made so much money. Won Best Screenplay at the Oscars. Yeah, it really to me is a perfect movie, but also is a really perfect horror movie because you can watch it over and over again and pick up on smaller stuff. Like I see what they did here. Like. It truly, to me, like for his first time directing a movie, it's phenomenal what he was able to do with, again, a small budget, but it was just a great script, great dialogue, great characters. And again, but being in that theater with you, Moses, we were again so giddy. We were just like, what's going to happen next? We were like so like on edge of our seats, like we were so like just enthralled, but we were so just like amazed by this movie. We were just like, this is crazy. And people were laughing, people were scared, people were cheering, people were clapping. I remember at the end of the movie, too, when the movie ended, the guy ran up next to me and Moses, like up the alley, and then he goes, "Don't date white girls," and ran out of the theater.
Oh my God!
But
he was cracking up laughing.
Yeah,
that was a good experience I had with you, man. It was just like opening. It was like 10 p.m. at night too. It was late. It was creepy. We were like, what's gonna happen? But the theater was just packed full of people. Like. Just the audience was just so into it too. We were into it too, having a good time. So, all the movie really dear to my heart because of how perfect it is, but also just like it's a really great movie that a comedian that we all admire, Key and Peele, made this horror masterpiece that just became a huge culture moment, huge moment in pop culture and movie cinema history. And I think he's also kind of like Greta Gerwig is with his movie, her movies. He's 3 for 3 with Nope, Us, and Get Out. He's 3 for 3. I can't wait for his next movie next Christmas because I feel like he's gonna just be another 4 for 4. But it's a very special movie. Number 4, I have the first It. I remember seeing this with you, Nick, in college. We were like hyped for this movie. We were like hearing good things about it. You're talking about horror, talking about like Pennywise, thinking of the Stephen King. Cause I think we just came off of the really bad Dark Tower live action movie. That movie was ass.
Yeah, that one was kind of rough. That one was kind of fucking rough.
I remember you saw it first. You texted me. You go, "Nah, dog, don't see this movie." And I was like, "Are you sure?" He goes, "Don't see it." And I was like, "I want to see it on a matinee or whatever." And I texted you. He was like, "You're right." And you're like, tisk tisk. You're like, "I told you, bro." And I was like, "Yeah, you were right." That movie was garbage. And I love Idris Elba and I love Matthew McConaughey. That movie was ass. That movie was straight ass. And I was like, "Oh man." And you and I were kind of like, "Oh, it's coming out next month. Please be good." We were kind of skeptical about it. But again, kind of how Get Out was. I remember seeing this with you and Nick in college, and it was just the vibe of that movie. The theater was packed. Everyone was into it. People were clapping. People were cheering. It was just like, whoa, what's going on? It was like a moment for horror in 2017 with Get Out and then It. And it was just like, whoa. I was probably more to horror movies around college, meeting with you, Nick, meeting with you, Moses, like meeting people at ASU Film School. I was getting to liking more horror movies too. And I was like, okay, I was kind of scared too. I'm not afraid of clowns, but I was like, this looks really creepy, or it's like a really kind of gory movie. I just remember being mesmerized by this movie too. Like, this movie's awesome. I think Skarsgård's a perfect Pennywise. All the kids were casted very well. Andy Muschietti did a great job capturing the really kind of essence of It, the town of Derry, the scares, the laughter, the kind of innocence of adolescence. It's really, to me, a remarkable adaptation. I feel like it's one of the best adaptations ever of a Stephen King book, but it's a great Stephen King live action adaptation ever. So to me, it was really impressive how he pulled it off. I like It Part 2 a lot, don't get me wrong. I remember seeing that with you and Joel a few years ago. Had a lot of fun with it, but first one looked to me as a very special kind of like, this is what movies can be like when you trust the filmmaker and you trust like the vision of like, I have love for this book, and it was just really remarkable how they pulled that off. Mm-hmm. And then for me, fifth one to me, I was going back and forth a lot. I'm gonna go with 2018 Halloween. Same thing. I was getting more into horror movies. You know, watching that you recommended to me, Nick. Seeing things that my friends were liking. Seeing people like watching more horror movies on my own. And I was like, ooh, you know, I'm not a huge Michael Myers fan or a huge Halloween fan, but I'm like, Danny McBride is writing this. So I love Danny McBride so much. And his partner, David Gordon Green, was writing this together. He was directing it. I was like, I'm seeing more comedians become horror directors. Like, it was a year of Quiet Place. Yeah, come on, Joel. Quiet Place was in your top 5. The Halloween, I was like, ooh, you got two comedic comedians, writer directors to do a Halloween movie. I'm like, interesting, but it's Blumhouse. Blumhouse did Get Out. And I was like, okay, I can get out with Blumhouse right now. And when the teaser came out, I said, you know, I'm not a Halloween person. I've seen Halloween movies before. I'm going to watch this. And I remember watching the first OG Halloween a week before it came out. I was like, okay, I'm into this. And I was hearing that like this new one was going to be a complete reboot, not reboot, but like sequel to the first one. It was going to know all the kind of crappy Busta Rhymes, really kind of bad Paul Rudd sequels or whatever that are just terrible, if you ask me. I watched the Busta Rhymes one where he goes, trick or treat, motherfucker. And I was like, I'm out. I was like, I'm out. I was like, yep, I'm out. I was like, I'm done. I said,
was Tyra Banks in that movie too?
She was, bro. You're right. Oh my god, Jesus, dude. I didn't like the Robs,
bro.
Oh god, dude.
Nah.
I was like, you know what? I've only seen the first one, Busta Rhymes, Tyra Banks one, and I tried watching the Rob Zombie first one, and I was like, it's not for me. I was like, just.
The Rob Zombie one, that was the first one that I'd seen, and
really.
I hadn't seen any of the other previous movies, and I was kind of fucking with it because I was like, I like the more realistic approach he had to it, like going into the psychology of why is Michael basically just like turning evil, and like why did he kind of turn out like this? Because I think in the first movie he just kind of did it out of the blue.
Yeah,
but don't quote me on that because I haven't seen it. But the Rob Zombie one, like they kind of spent some time with it. Like he grew up in like a shitty home life, and he was like being bullied and da 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 da. And you know, it's kind of like one of those one thing led to another type things, and then then he became like Michael Myers, and I was like, I'm kind of fucking with that. And also the guy that played the grown up Michael Myers, that was, if I remember correctly, that was Sabretooth from the first X-Men movie.
Oh, really?
I was like, damn, that's dope. Yeah, this dude was like 8'5", bro. But,
you're right. Tyler Mane. Look at you, Nick, with the trivia.
Was that him? That's me.
Yes,
that's
sir.
Me.
Look at the trivia.
That's me, my boy. That's what I do.
I really, really loved the 2018 sequel so much because it was kind of like a fresh start for the franchise. Having seen the first one a week before, I was like, ooh, I'm into it. They had John Carpenter producing it. Like, I got his love for it. I was like, okay, good. I was hearing good things about it. Had a great response at the Toronto Film Festival in 2018. I was like, okay, I want to see this movie. And I was seeing it with some friends in college. And I was like, man, I love this movie. It was because it was a great pace, one, but it felt like, okay, we love Halloween. We don't want to like fuck it up. We don't want to like take too much away from it. And it was just really a great pace. It had John Carpenter doing the score too, which was very smart on them. But I was very impressed with David Gordon Green, Dan McBride. I'm like, wow, I love Righteous Gemstones. I love Vice Principals. I love Beastbound and Down, Pineapple Express, all the movies they did together. And I was like, I really like seeing these turn of events for comedians becoming hard filmmakers, whether it's Jordan Peele, John Krasinski, and then Danny McBride and David Gordon Green. And I was like, you know what? Good on these guys. They're fans of Halloween, obviously. They were trusted to do it again. Also, they had a small budget too. They weren't given a huge, 8-figure, whatever, huge budget for a movie. It was like, I think it was like $5 million was the budget for the movie, and it made like $80 million opening weekend. It was a huge weekend, and I was like, wow. I just remember just being like, yo, I'm so into this. Jamie Lee Curtis, who I love, she was back as Laurie Strode, and I was like, yes, I'm into this. The new additions were great, but it truly felt like a love letter to Halloween, but being its own movie, updated, and it was brutal, and it was gnarly. I was like, damn, they're getting away with this. There's some scenes I was like, God damn. But I was just so amazed. I felt like seeing like a really kind of like horror classic, but modernized for like the modern audience. And I was so into it. But yeah, I truly love the 2018 Halloween so much. And I kind of wish the last two were as good. I still like them for what they were. They're not great movies, don't get me wrong. but I think I kind of like them more than other people did. But the one they just did, the one 2018 one was very special because it was like kind of a very kind of like love letter, but making it something special in its own way. And I was surprised the other day, me and Joel did, but I'm looking forward for their Exorcist movie because I feel like because they're doing it again. He's writing it with Danny McBride. They're doing it again with Blumhouse, and people are like, man, fuck them. They ruined Halloween for me. And I'm like, people really hated the last two Halloween movies. I get it. I understand your frustration, but I still enjoy them for what they were personally. But I think these guys are going to do something special with the Exorcist movie. Again, I do think if you watch Gemstones, you watch Vice Principals, you watch the first Halloween movie, these guys are going to make really good character movies, but also come with some kind of new and unique and fresh to the franchise. So I have faith in their Exorcist movie. But yeah, guys, that's our favorite horror movies. Comment down whether it's on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts, your favorite horror movies. We want to hear from that. But anyway, guys, so we're wrapping up on that. But Joel, as always, my friend, I want you to take us home. How do we end the show every week?
I thought we were just gonna do the 5 horror movie things since we listed 5 each.
Fair enough. I'm gonna do one TV show recommendation. That's cool. But go ahead.
Yeah, sure. We this week, why don't we just do we already did it. Let's just do one pick, either a movie or we usually okay. So for the new people in the show, we usually end our podcast with what we call one-on-ones. It's where we each do one movie and one TV show that we've seen recently, or we feel that is underrated or just not appreciated enough, and we hope that you would put it on your movies list and eventually watch it, whether it's today, tomorrow, or years down the line. As long as you're put it on your movie list, we'll be happy. But this week, why don't we just do one single like movie or show that you guys feel should get put on the list?
Perfect.
Gotcha.
Nick, you want to go first, my friend?
You know what? I don't mind if I do.
Floor is yours.
Audience, have you ever wanted to see a Will Smith movie where he was a superhero starring alongside Charlize Theron and Jason Bateman? Well, you've come to the right place because I'm going to recommend a little old movie to you called Hancock. This movie has everything. It's got Will Smith. It's got Will Smith being a superhero. It's got comedy. It's got a little bit of that superhero genre in it. You feel me? It's a solid 8 out of 10 movie, and I would definitely recommend it.
I want you to say that every time, every podcast. That was beautiful. That honestly, like, I want you to narrate my entire life from now on, Nick. Seriously, like, I want you to narrate everything, like my daily activities. That was a really good, like, in a world voice. So I'm just amazed. Fuck the Allstate guy, man. I want your voice now in the Allstate commercials.
Say less, King. I got you. Say less.
Moses.
I mean, I cannot do I cannot really do what Nick did and everything like that. But
no, I'm kidding.
I know, just throw me out. But no, I would say my recommendation is they clone Tyrone,
Yeah.
and everything. If you have a chance to go check it out, I think it's a great movie, and everything. It's Jamie Foxx, he's in it and everything like that, and you got John Boyega, and you got Teyana Paris and everything like that. All three of them are great. It's funny. It's super funny, and some really, really great moments. And it just takes you on a on a great sort of like a comedic ride that you sort of like enjoy. And it's a great one. It's very much a 4.5 out of 5 for me.
Nice.
Joe, my friend, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to recommend an old classic, childhood favorite movie, because there was a recent concept trailer for it. It's called Small Soldiers. I feel like all of us have seen it, right? We all have.
25th anniversary, I think last month, I want to say.
You guys saw it, right, Moses? Nick?
You
Yep.
know what?
Oh yeah.
Small Soldiers. I saw the video you sent in the group chat, but nah, nothing of it.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. So let me explain this. So Small Soldiers, a movie back in that was made and released in 1998, is
Mhm.
about a kid whose favorite TV show was about obviously small soldiers
I like G.I.
or
Joe.
soldiers, not
Oh
it's
wait,
something like yeah, G.I. Joe.
he's voiced by
But this
Tommy
one,
Lee Jones, right? Is it that one?
Yeah. Yep.
huh?
Oh
Yep.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, I seen that. I seen that. My bad. I thought that was
Yep.
Toy
Yeah.
Soldiers. That's my bad. It's I
Totally
haven't seen that
different
movie
movie.
since 2002. It's been a while.
Okay, so Small Soldiers is basically a kid's favorite show. They make action figures of it. It's like G.I. Joe, but it's soldiers versus mythical creatures, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And so the kid gets the toys, and it comes to life. He starts talking to them, and he talks about the war. So uh, and not only does he come to life, but the other toys like him do come to life, and so do the soldiers. Um, he had a mythical creature one, and to them, the war between the two is real. So the small soldier toys, they all start getting ready to attack them, causing terror throughout the whole neighborhood just to try to kill them. And yeah, it's an interesting movie. It's one of my favorite childhood movies. I love it still to this day. And there is a concept trailer for a new Small Soldiers movie out on YouTube from their official YouTube channel, Small Soldiers, obviously. So check that out and do please put this movie on your movie list. Now your turn, Duck.
Yeah, man. 25th anniversary. It came out. I think 20, I think they celebrated 25th anniversary last maybe 2 weeks ago. I want to say it's a yeah. I love that movie. Growing up as a kid, I was like, oh, this movie's my shit. Very underrated. I was going back and forth with a lot of stuff too. I almost did Declan Tyrone too, but I want to do something differently. I'm gonna recommend a movie called Accepted with Jonah Hill and Justin Long,
Hmm.
Columbus Short, Lewis Black, Blake Lively, a bunch of actors. It's very mid 2000s for sure. It's like Universal mid 2000s. Um, I love this movie so much. It to me holds up very well if you ask me. And it's about Justin Long plays this guy. He's a senior in high school. He's very cool. He's a very cool dude. But he's a slacker and he gets denied from almost every college in America, which is kind of hard to believe. You must be really that stupid or that dumb. Even community college didn't want him, which is kind of hard to believe. He kind of threw his life away. And so his parents are kind of just like, you fucked up. You're gonna be living at home now. Like, you're done. Like you're a screw up basically. And he goes, I can't just put my parents. And literally he says, you know what? Because he makes fake IDs for his school. He's like kind of a bit of a hustler in school. He makes fake IDs, fake passports, whatever. He goes, what? I'm gonna make a fake college letter. Hey, I got to college. Look at me, great, whatever. It fools his parents or whatever, and then they go, okay, I'm gonna bring you to the first day of orientation. And he goes, oh shit. And so he basically him and his friends who couldn't get to college or just got done from every college ever. So you know what? What's this? Make our own fake school, basically. So they rent out this abandoned like mental facility, mental health facility, like mental asylum, and they basically kind of redo it into a whole college. And it was a secret, only for them, only for him and his three friends, whatever. No one can know about it. But they made the website kind of like everyone's typed it. So basically, so many people got sent to this fake college, and now they're basically running this fake college. But the only people that know about the fake colleges is Justin Long and his three friends. They kind of like run their own college, but it's not a real college, and it's very fascinating. It's hilarious. was a very kind of like, wow, far-fetched, but it kind of makes sense more the more you watch it. And there's some really funny moments in this movie. Young Jonah Hill, I think you've probably seen this meme or TikTok about it a lot, where he's in this big hot dog. He's being hazed by his fraternity, and he's in this hot dog costume, and he goes, "Ask me about my wiener. Ask me about my wiener." I was at an antique shop a few weeks ago, and I texted this to Joelle. Someone made a shirt of this, and it's a really funny shirt. I was like, wow, I'm so glad people know this movie because it makes me so happy. But to really kind of feel good, again, hour and a half, super short, hour and a half comedy, but it's a very far-fetched situation, but it's really funny, a lot of laughs. I love this movie. It's on Netflix. Yeah, 2006 called Accepted with Justin Long, Jonah Hill, and Blake Lively. It's a really funny movie that I highly recommend. It makes me laugh whenever I see it. It's kind of like a very hidden, kind of forgotten gem. So that's my recommendation of the week.
Well, I fucks with it.
Yeah, it's always a good movie. I love that movie. We still quote to this day.
Ask me about my wiener.
All right. Well, this is the section that everyone gets to plug themselves. So go ahead and, do your thing. Whoever wants to start.
Yeah, I mean, I can go ahead. You can find me on Instagram. That's probably the only platform that I use, and everything. And I'm also low key, very low key on Threads. So if you want to find me there, it's the same username as my Insta, which is Moses Lawi _, and that's it.
Right.
You guys can find me, Nicholas Johnson, at on YouTube at Donning Vision, capital D, capital V, and the same for Instagram. It's the same. It's just Donning Vision. It's all lowercase, no spaces. Got a YouTube, Instagram, and you can find me anywhere that they got podcasts.
Oh,
all right, Doug.
You can find the show on Instagram, TikTok, at Midway Avenue Productions, as well as our YouTube page. I'm on Twitter. I'll probably be on Threads maybe soon enough. Peer pressure. Twitter is Capri_Sun, SON. I'm posting a lot more kind of like quick reactions to movies or shows I've been watching, stuff like that. Post a lot of movie memes too. And my personal Instagram is at The Young Jones, all one on Instagram. Yeah, guys, follow me there. DM me about movie stuff, things about the podcast. And like I said, if you're gonna see us at the screening in a few weeks for Strays on the 9th, say hi to me and Nick. That we'll be there with the critics. So, hey guys, we'll see you next time. But Joe, go ahead, my friend.
All right, and you guys can find me at the OG Cuban Rican on Instagram, TikTok, Kick, and Twitch. I haven't posted on TikTok or Instagram yet, but eventually I will. I promise. Yeah. All right. So please follow us on all our podcasts, social medias, and where you listen to us at. And we just want to thank you guys for coming with us on this auditory journey through our opinions, thoughts, and concerns, and just overall appreciation for movies and shows and everything entertainment wise. You guys make this so much fun and very, very possible. So me and all of my co-hosts are very thankful for you guys. We love y'all. Stay safe. Have a good morning, day, night, and overall life, hopefully. And yeah, just have a good one. Love y'all. Bye.